Careful, I've spotted...
Careful now! Careful!
Have I got anything that...
What could the better to detonate?
There must be a way to
There must be a way to spring this trap safe. Careful now!
Perhaps I can detonate...
Have I got any? A whetstone wheel.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
In the days of old, the sorcerers of Riverlong cured the sick and healed the wounded through a great power called Source. But a terrible darkness invaded the land, and Source was forever tainted. The sorcerers who once healed now only destroy, and madness has overtaken them. A few brave Source hunters are all that stand between Riverlong and the dark power that threatens to destroy it. Wherever Source appears, hunters follow.
Rise and shine, Master Source Hunters. The captain wants you up on deck. Hear them calls? Means we're close to shore. I don't ever you go in there, Master Source Hunters. City's full of undead, hungry enough for blood. But you're supposed to investigate that murder, ain't you? They say it's Source that did the Counselor in. Source in a city like Sisko, nowhere's safe anymore. Here they are, Captain Sir.
God's blessings on you, hunters. You'll be happy to hear we've reached Sisko. But there's trouble offshore, so we'll have to sail in carefully. Here, have a look. Those are orc ships, and they're blocking our passage. We'll get you as close to the city as we can, and drop you off in the beach. Be wary now. Orcs are on the attack. Undead have closed every route out, and there's a sorcerer on the loose. If we're to get justice for the Counselor, you'll have to keep your wits about you. May the luck of the gods be with you both, Source Hunters.
If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
Source hunters! How did they find us?
Take the stone to the temple. These whelps will be easy to crush.
As you say, Madam Conduit.
Arise, fair dead! Seize upon our enemies!
You don't have a leg to stand on. Comrades, we are exalted above all others.
Death is its own deliverance!
Their leader said something about escaping with a stone.
Stolen from this dungeon, I imagine. Can we get inside? Those thieves were more than petty criminals. Their leader gave life to the dead. What stone could they have been so keen on taking?
We can't well turn away from such an odious show of source. Let's investigate the tomb and see what answers it might reveal.
Indeed. For all we know, these dark-dealing thieves may be involved with Councillor Jake's murder. This seems to be broken. 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 There's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest in protecting whatever's kept here. I guess someone else got here first. I've always heard there's typically more to a king's tomb than meets the eye.
It could be a myth, or it could be our lucky day.
I've spotted something.
This seems to be broken.
Short work of that door, but I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long.
alert! Sodden all the way to my boot soles! This seems to be broken. This seems to be broken.
spotted something. Well, what's this I've spotted?
I've spotted something. I think I hear voices downstairs. The last thing I need is to surprise another angry summoner.
I sense enemies nearby.
My robes are soaked! You better hope there's no hint of a flame in this place. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. No one can get in here but us and the boss. You don't know that! Those cultists have been poking about for days.
Eternal silence awaits you.
Not even worth the rummaging.
A living rat dares disturb the slumber of the dead? A thieving fool insults the sanctity of the grave. The bloodstone defiler, where is it? Strange indeed, robed indeed. Your tricks will not save you from retribution, deceiver. The Bloodstone, deliver it now, and I may deign to end you quickly. I suppose you only crept among these sacred tombs for leisure. I suppose you had no lust for the treasure of the dead. Ha! In life, I toil to care for these holy grounds. In death, I protect them from profaners and poachers. The legacy of Cecile is mine to preserve. Her traitors are mine to destroy. Run if you like, Defiler. Whichever way you take leads you to the grave.
I can defeat them all in a blow! Comrades, we are exalted above all others. This is the end for you!
Death never dies, fool. Death in 1,000 forms rules all.
Here lies Master Ragequin's second apprentice, killed by dying.
Come, let's have another drink while you still can. To your very good health.
And yours, Phineas. Here goes. Get you more. Come on, got it out. Hold it right there, orc scum. No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single horn in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Sisil. We're Legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Rivellon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius? Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that, for that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay, Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
Ever cat the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah! So, you're sorcerers, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a 2-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
The wizard, you say? Sounds good to me. Lead the way.
Agreed. A wizard is bound to know more about what is going on around here.
Capital, come along. We're not far from the city.
Orcs! Bloody orcs! Come, let's go back to the bridge. Let the source hunters handle their big brutes.
Kill the unbelievers!
Too far to lose to such foes.
Sweet relief. Bless the sun! I am restored!
Bless the Seven, I am restored. The time of your death is at hand. Try to wriggle free.
Maybe now you can learn something useful, like how to wash your underthings.
Did you see that? Those orcs had a human commander.
Who was that joker leading
How
those
very
orcs?
curious.
Damn traitor.
And how
Where
very
are Bibius and
disquiet.
Junius? Didn't they hear the fight?
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
Bloody orcs are at it again. Beats me what on earth they want in Sicil. This is their second attack within as many weeks, and their second defeat. That rat-faced shaman of theirs even went to the trouble of launching a fireball at a ship in the harbour to the west of here. They may need help. I would go myself, but we legionnaires are under strict orders never to abandon our posts. Beats me what traitorous madness came over. Whatever occurs in Oh, I'm not so taken before his time, far before his time.
I like you much better. One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
Filthy beasts, I'll kill the last one of you.
I like you much better.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours. Filthy beasts, I'll kill the last one of you.
Taken before his time. Far before his time.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
What's this I've spotted?
Vengeance will be ours.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Sisil. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. Behold! There we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Ori Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Sisil proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kid. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely. Now, I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The Orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most Orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise. Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter. And I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Sisil. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Ahu mentioned?
Back into it. We need more help. She's hot. Come on, man. Put your back into it. We mustn't let the flames spread to the harbor. But he's the biggest rocket window. We mustn't let the flames spread to the harbor. Steady, boys, steady. Never been homesick a day in me life until I.
I used to see orcs in every shadow when I had too much rum. Now.
Shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed at all times. Captain's orders. Wait a second. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the Source Hunter. Sorry for the gruff treatment. I didn't recognize you right away. Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation? I don't think you're quite ready to head out into the wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'll bring some backup if I were you. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter. Sisil needs you alive.
Know much about zombies, do you?
Murder within the walls. Know much about zombies.
Say, no one's around.
Burrowing.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear. I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Everyone needs a hand now and then. Take the fish, and none but us will be the wiser.
True enough. Without a bit of charity now and then, the world would be a far crueler place.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
I'm straight. You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
This man is telling the truth. He paid for that fish fair and square.
Quite so. I saw him pay the merchant.
I can't thank you enough for your, discretion. I'll be going now.
Well, sorry to have bothered you then, sir. Carry on.
Quite there on the market, it seems.
That thief is free for now. But I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path. I can understand your sympathy for that man, but feeding him for one day will hardly remedy his circumstances. You would have done better to help him more substantially than by covering up a single petty theft.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows. Red and orange, yellow and green.
Sorry, but I haven't the time for chatter. These days, a moment's inattention is all a thief needs to snatch my livelihood out from under me. The dead are on the prowl, the council has been murdered, and now source hunters are encouraging petty theft. The few honest amongst us are swimming against the stream, I'll tell you what.
Silver arrows.
This town has seen better days.
Oh, hello, love. Nice day for a little stroll around the market, isn't it?
Well, what sort of arrow?
About time the council took notice of us. You here for the bone rattlers or the club wavers?
Livestock's got twice the sense and thrice the soul of the average human, I say.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Dearest customer, If
for your daily serving of veggies, please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
I'm straight. I'm through. Aaron's by the passengers.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a
Here for
wheel.
your daily serving of veggies, please partake of the plumpest produce ever produced.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel and a goose.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold
Well,
each.
what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel and a good stuff. Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel and a good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Lonesome, spiritless, perhaps wrestling an earth elemental.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more home than a slice of this fine golden flesh.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more
Well, what's...
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's
Well,
cheese.
what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
A good day to you.
Fresh haddock, perfect for a fry-up.
not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more home than a slice of this fine golden flesh. Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses. Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing?
Silver? Poison? Get to the point.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Pay the big change on your book for the wheel of the good stuff.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size feels ever seen.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
That doesn't belong to us, you know.
You're right, it doesn't. Sometimes I get a little overzealous while I'm on the job.
Happens to the best of us. More than a few temptations accompany authority, no?
Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Ah, gracious. Oh no, noble friend. Your upper chakras are in desperate need of a good scrubbing. Fortunately for you, my homebrewed tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs.
Watch the undead quiver in their lousy boots.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Well, hello there.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some
Ah,
vim.
hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no? Takers, come on, you chickens!
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Well, hello there.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here, sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending. And what questions are those? I hold by the belief that this place is cursed. First, the undead, who are getting more vicious by the day, mind. Then the orcs, who don't seem to understand when a war's been lost. Something about this place seems to inspire the worst in those savages. Don't even mention those rotten carcasses to me. They're the reason we've been stuck in this dead-end town for nigh on 2 bloody years. All fun and games in the beginning, but just you lose a couple of friends fighting those fiends. Get used to lousy rations and have but drink and dice for entertainment. And you'll soon come to realize that out of hundreds of cohorts the world round, yours drew the short straw.
Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
Oh, but don't you worry, my lady.
Wing of worm, brew and spice and stir and burn.
Hey, Tull, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Virius. You'll only encourage it.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Oh, what now? Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous!
I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Syceal, by which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead, for I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming, and it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Syceal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Syceal! I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. We are the pride of Rivalon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
I guess someone else got here first.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know? Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me and my cat guys, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar. Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Sisko. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet. By all means. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen, all the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
Sorry, sir. You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye...
Easy, Tull. That's the Source Hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Carl.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Hello, face!
Source Hunter, I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Those folks that embarrass a bridge troll get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Those folks that embarrass a bridge troll get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me, even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have, and perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
Thank the Seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Cheese on your boat with a wheel of the good stuff.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
on that vile Gruntilda. She never can brook peace for long.
Savagery's a necessary food.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. The Pseudo-Monarchia Demo.
In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Getahal be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
The
I'm
Encyclopedia
Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stetteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't
No.
she?
A source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless. Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. On one condition. That on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities.
Very well. There will be no deals with demons.
Kejdenor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying.
Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Kejdenor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. We'll place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! We'll place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stenteken.
What? Oh, it's you, my elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Syceal, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Syceal through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. What? Oh, you mean Sisil, the young pet's not, and, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to you. What now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sisil is, Source Hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sisil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that, but so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation: the lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the Source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Siceal after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. Too many of my soldiers have fallen. The dead must be put down without mercy, if we can. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death.
Sorry, sir.
A good day to you.
Oh, you return and humble me with your presence. Such a Oh, it's not merely a... See here. You and I share. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Oh, but I even so. Well, and that is exactly.
These on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
So you're just hanging around again, are you? Waiting for what, exactly? Okay.
Siceal isn't so bad on a quiet day like this, is it?
Oh, you think you can speak that way to us? It's trying to say I've got my eye on you, Sarah.
I am a
Concerns myself with such things.
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lying in your pocket.
They hustle and bustle while I sit here stagnantly and watch it all go by.
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
I'd prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
like a lightning rod, aren't you?
Leave no fool standing!
Back on my feet.
This is the end for you!
On the men.
You look, but you cannot see.
Good as a new penny. Ironclad and fleet of foot, I'm invincible. done!
Lightning strike!
Good as a new penny.
determined. No glory in this death. I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake. Into the fray once more. Sweet relief.
Bless the Seven, I am restored. I run, they fall. I like this game.
Bless the Seven! I am restored! Magical blows!
Meet your demise!
Seven, have mercy on your soul.
Thank heavens. Maybe now you can learn something useful, like how to wash your underthings.
Sweet relief. Everything we do seems to fortify your abilities.
I suppose your example has inspired me to reach heights I'd never before envisioned.
That inspiration hardly flows one way, my friend.
I've spotted something interesting. And I would have done so more quickly if someone weren't hovering over my shoulder like a nosy aunt.
Some of us wouldn't have to hover if others of us... Looks like more of the Legionnaires sent to investigate the lighthouse.
Stay sharp, or we'll end up the same.
Time to get your feet wet.
Ah!
What can I do for you, Source Hunter? Good. No.
I'll need to unlock this somehow. Looking good. Looking good.
I used to sail the seven seas with the best of them. Better than the best of them. But found my true calling at the county fair. The strongest man in Sightseal I was, and they built me as such. Now those were swell times. How people marveled at my feats of strength. Boy, was I the cat's pajamas back then. Anyone could go up against me in a grand old bare-knuckle jamboree, but did they ever best me? Baloney. Now, I'm not a violent guy. Don't get me wrong. Make no mistake. But you know there's no harm in a little roughhousing now and again. Putting on a scrawny against brawny. Could have been a nice title fight at the fair. Here are the rules, hotshot. I'm gonna summon an item. Something only Snorri himself could smash. And if you can manage to break it in 35 seconds, you'll have won the challenge. Go getting any pie in the sky? Hope so, pally pal. This'll be nothing to sneeze at. There she is, noodle arms. So, what are you made of?
You there! Cut it out! You say you will take me under your wing. In truth, this is a relief, and so that the wise ask freely. Your city is here. A tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a.
Let Harry show you how it's done. That was easy as cherry pie. What else have you got, huh? Put 'em up. Yeah? Out with it then. Get a wiggle on.
Swift and stunning.
Unless you're prepared to face the strongest ghost alive. Well, alive.
I'd prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
If you haven't got what it takes, I'll do it myself.
The seven grant abundance.
I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
Ugh, I'm dripping.
Rawr! That is, how can I help you, my friend?
Oh, thank the seven. Lucia, it's the Source Hunter. We're not going to die on this haunted cliff after all.
Who's dying? We're just resting up. The calm before the storm. Those ghosties at the lighthouse won't know what hit 'em. There's certainly something fishy happening. The light shines sure as the tides, though there's not been an attendant there for nearly 2 decades. Our platoon made a pact with Selenia. We'd check out the lighthouse, and if we made it back, we'd get a ticket home.
What Selenia failed to mention was that it wasn't just the ghosts at the lighthouse we had to worry about, it was every savage skeleton on the way there and back too. When we started, we were 7. Now, Lucia and I are the last alive.
Survival of the fittest, I say. We're just here marshalling our strength before hauling into that lighthouse with our swords blazing.
Ha! Marshalling our strength indeed. To be honest, we've been shaking like chihuahuas, praying for a way out of this mess. And it seems the 7 have sent you.
Ah, Malleus, your dignity's in a puddle at your feet. As for me, an honourable soldier and servant to Rivellon, I'm not afraid to ask nicely. So, what do you say, Source Hunter? Will you check out the lighthouse in the name of your comrades in arms? If Selenia sees the place cleared, we'll be on the next ship out to Siceal and back to our families.
You'll go to the lighthouse and straighten matters out, yes? Let us know what you find.
What's the matter? Scared of a few ghosts? There's certainly something.
What's Selenia?
Survive?
Ha!
Ha! So,
You'll go to the You hear that? That moaning? I'm not going any closer.
come now. We've got to show these spooks the meaning of Legion grit.
I'm up to my short hairs in grit. I don't need to wrangle a devil to prove that.
If you haven't got what it takes, I'll do it myself.
The further I go, the more bodies I find heaped around. I must be closing in on where these soldiers were headed.
I feel better already.
I guess someone else got here first.
Get there, boy! It's...
And hit!
Rise from your grave!
Stitch in time, eh, my friends? Stay for combat!
On your soul.
On the men!
quite dire. I'm overheating here!
I need to dry off.
An invigorating fight, that was.
What a killing blow you delivered.
Cheers! Yes, I handled myself like the best of the best, even if I do say so myself.
No need for false modesty where none is needed. You're a born source hunter, and that's a fact. Back on my feet.
Well, what's this I've spotted?
Before me still. Were these walls my home, my hell? I may have died, but my guilt lives on and on. What's this? Living eyes that can see the shape of death? Skeletons roam the lands, restless as my troubled soul. But shall not find their left. Samson was my name. Oh, if so, their punishment. That indeed is the tainted title I must bear. Deliberately. Why did I commit this act of blood possessed, yet no...
Another betrayed soul. It is weakness that weeps for her. Her death was deserved.
Deserved death. Good for the fine people of Sicile that you're not the keeper of the lighthouse, then.
These walls, my home, my hell. I may have died, but my guilt lives on and on. Dearest Desdemona, dearest Desdemona, I see your eyes before me still. Were that I could drown in their endless azure and end this torment. These walls, my home, my hell. I may have died, but my guilt lives on and on. Dearest Desdemona, I see your eyes before me still. Were that I could drown in their endless...
I need to dry off.
How did it go? Don't spare any details. We need to make a full report to the Lieutenant.
Now that's an interesting story. Clean the grit from your ears and I'll tell you all about it.
Indeed. Now there's a story worthy of an audience.
So, let me get this straight. There's a ghost inside operating the lighthouse, and you managed to do away with the bad beasties at the base of the thing. Whew, sounds like a job well done.
And I'm sure Selenia will be thrilled to hear we did it. Another triumph for Legion Daring Do. And if this doesn't buy us a ticket home, nothing will.
I need a moment to reflect. It does feel quite good to give of oneself to those in need.
You've quite trended toward altruism, haven't you?
Pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is.